Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. If you're with me either in the Discord or in the YouTube chat, go ahead and say what's up. Let's go ahead and see who's with us this morning. Good morning, Cyrus, Retberg, Spastrick, Fast Scooby, Julius, Silent NW, Liquid Flows, O'Keefe, Darren, Big G, RTR, Franco, Scorpion Futures, Dusted, GC Wolf, Panchua, Nuggets, Pool Hound, Trade Runner, Darren, Futures Trading Today, Dr. Purple Ape, Q Mendez, Alfred, Luna, David, Almost Got Away with It, Danny L, Bill, Kenko, Dotton, Dakota Bison, Astro Nerd, good morning. Good morning, Julius, Enzo, Julian, Daniel, Mark, good morning, Scott Bro, Sir Noodles, Seth, Silent NW2, Angel, Currendula, good morning and welcome to the chat VIP there. Good morning, Marcello, Dragon Spec, Juju, 12 Fish, Angus, Sean, D's, Tron, good morning. Tron, we have a one-on-one today I'm stoked on. I think that's our first one together. Very excited for that. Good morning, Air Bear. Good morning, A Trades, Ghost Trader, Cameron Ross. Good morning, Tomas, Leon, Donovan. Good morning, Nathan, Sapadilla, Vinzen, Epic Gamer. Good morning. So, did anybody take any trades on the overnight session? And does anybody know why the NQ is pushing up right now? There's a very specific reason why we have a little boot scoot and rally here from the NQ. Does anybody know what the catalyst is of why the NQ is going up? Does anybody know? We got some guesses in here. Hey, Astro Nerd, there you are. There it is. So today, if you already read the morning memo, you should know this. For my early readers of the morning memo, we do have a special presentation coming out today from OpenAI, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If we look at what happened here, let's first check out on Google. Let's look at their stock. Oh my goodness, they went straight down. A-Trade says, Ribs, took your advice and submitted my first payout. Let's go. Nice work there, A-Trades. Making it real. Love to see that. So Google down because OpenAI and said that they're going to be announcing their new AI-powered search product. And they have cautioned it in the way that they've said, this is not a search engine, but a search product. So a big distinction between those two things. And they had not previously disclosed when they were going to be discussing this, but we all know now that today's the day. And I believe that it is going to be called GPT-5, but they are saying that it's not a search engine, but something innovative that will be very impactful. And then, so if we're looking at Microsoft, because Microsoft is the largest investor in OpenAI, you can see the gap up in Microsoft sort of matches the gap down in Google. So quite the big gap up here in Microsoft. Closed at 414, now trading 418, almost 419 here. That's what's up on my screen. So Microsoft is the largest investor out of publicly traded companies in OpenAI. And so that's why we're seeing that effect. Remember, Microsoft is responsible for the number one weight in not only the S&P, but also the number one weight in the NASDAQ. So when Microsoft goes to the upside, it can push it, even though, hey, Market Stalker D in the chat here. Morning Rips, does that sound like a song? Good morning, D. As you folks know, Ms. Market Stalker D is an incredible trader. She is a crude trader, as well as, great energy trader, great trader all around. And he trades from you, Market Stalker D. And we have Nick for a Tick. We got the whole crew in here. What's happening, Nick for a Tick? Nick for a Tick on the top 10 leaderboard. We got some talented folks in here. I love to see you folks this early in the morning. Good morning to both of you. Now we're just waiting for Nick Dolby to show up. Where's Nick Dolby? But we do have Microsoft out with that news. And I guess it's OpenAI that's out with that news. But it's going to be very, very interesting. Long RBOB. What's RBOB? What do I not? What in the world is RBOB? Gasoline futures. Oh my goodness. See, this shows me how little of an energy trader I am. I'm like, what in the world is RBOB? We do have some inventories coming out later this week. I don't think we have anything today as far as energy goes. That just shows how little I trade energy. We do have gasoline and distillate API inventories out tomorrow at, I believe it's at 4:30 in the afternoon. So there you go. Yeah, very nice. Long RBOB. Looks good. Looking nice and strong there. Very, very nice. Ribs, Dolby, D, Dakota, and Nick would be a pre-market dream. Yeah, we ought to do another stream where we have some guests on. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Had a lot of fun when we did the takeovers. Dakota, myself doing the takeover when we had D on, we had Anne Marie on. D came on twice. It was great. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun doing that. So maybe we'll do that again. But there you go. Yeah, I was like, that's gas, Rips. Come on. You should know that. Yeah, it shows how little I actually trade these energy markets. But going back to, let's see, Microsoft here. Going back to Microsoft, we have had a little Percocito here to the top side, and it is kind of kerfuffling around here. But Google made its way to the downside because obviously when you have a competitor in the space, it can threaten that. But you can see a lot of things happening. So be on the lookout specifically. Look at Google and then also look at NVIDIA as well today. All around 1 p.m., I'm going to be watching that live. There's obviously going to be a live stream for it. But it should be very, very interesting. We've had the Chat GPT Model 4 out for quite some time, and it was a grand improvement over the Model 3.5. So they had 3.5. I believe 3.5 is still out. Yeah, 3.5 is still usable. But 4 has been great because it's been good, but it's also, it seems like it's kind of showing its age. And I mean, when we're in this age of AI where everything is rapidly expanding, but you know, you can see like Adobe is also big in AI. Adobe has been, I mean, Adobe's kind of the sleeper, to be honest, in the AI space. But if you've seen what they're doing in the Photoshop beta, it's actually quite expansive and it's on par with what you're seeing out of like Midjourney, if you're familiar with that in the AI space as well. But there's a lot of things that are really shaping up in the AI space, and I think that it's going to start to compound really, really quickly, especially with the new chips that NVIDIA has been coming out with. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. They have been wrestling to get back into this zone up here. I mean, this should be $1,000 stock in my opinion, but they have been wrestling to get back above. We've been talking about this quite a bit. As long as they can get over 915, we should be able to see a rally in NVIDIA. This week, we do have monthly options expiring this week. So if we do have a lot of people buying calls, we are seeing some meme names starting to come back up too, like GameStop actually seeing a little bit of a boot scoot and rally this morning. So this could be the weight because of the monthly options that we've been seeing lately. But yeah, NQ is catching a bid right now, and that's namely because Microsoft being the number one weight of the NQ and the S&P 500, it does carry a lot of tremendous weight, and Microsoft is essentially the placeholder that if OpenAI comes out with something very, very strong, then the contagion effect is felt in Microsoft's ticker, and Microsoft can carry these things. Now, Google also carries some weight here in the NASDAQ as well as the S&P. But in the NASDAQ, it is ranked lower and it's a weighted index. It has less weight, less effect on the NQ. And so even though Google is down, we can still have that projecting and pushing the NQ up because Microsoft is so strong on that. Also, NVIDIA being number 3 weight of the NQ, NVIDIA benefits no matter what. So even if it's, I mean, the only thing that would hurt NVIDIA and Microsoft would be if the announcement comes out and then the public receives that announcement as being something that isn't as tremendous as what they're making it out to be. It's basically the leak that we've seen so far this morning is that it is OpenAI, but it is also, they're using some of Microsoft's search technology, which I know sounds a little bit weird, but it is kind of what we're seeing so far. What we've seen in Model 4 of GPT Model 4, we've seen it using Microsoft's Bing search technology to fetch information from the internet, but this is supposed to be that sort of on steroids, so to speak. And I'm very interested to see how much that is sort of plugged in and the speed of it, as well as, you know, we do have a contagion effect here over in Apple. I saw a lot of you folks guessing this one properly as well. I'm actually surprised we have Apple levels on this chart. But anyway, so yeah, we have Apple potentially talking about bringing OpenAI's search tool or whatever this tool is to their phone. So a double whammy announcement that would make the NQ really rally to the top side would be sort of a triple-pronged approach. Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, which would be number 1, 2, and 3 of the weight of the NASDAQ today. So if we had all three of those companies seeing a benefit from today's OpenAI presentation, then we would see the NQ going crazy today. So keep that in mind, but it goes both ways. If the announcement is a dud and it is not received strong by the public today, and again, this is all happening at 1 p.m. Eastern, if the announcement is lackluster, and let's just say, because remember, people who are investing in these stocks, the large institutions that are buying these stocks, they're investing for the long term. So if this announcement doesn't have an effect on the long-term bottom line expectation of these companies, then we will see the public having negative reaction to this. So it can go both ways. We can either see a really positive reaction or a negative reaction or even a mixed reaction. You want to visualize all sort of these opportunities on the table today. So be on the lookout. I will be posting a live stream here in the Discord and letting you folks know where you can watch the live stream for this OpenAI presentation. But keep in mind, just because it's an announcement doesn't mean it can be a good thing. We've seen a lot of announcements in the past. I've been an event-driven trader for years. There's a certain way to play these things. You can have a run up to an event and then the event comes out, it's lackluster, and then now we get a huge fall on the stock prices. We can have a run up and then the expectations are muddled compared to the reality, and the reality is blowing people's expectations out of the water. The stocks can rip. So just keep it in mind that we can have all of these certain things really just having an effect on the stocks today, and specifically the NQ, because we're watching, again, like I said, that triple approach. Number 1, going to be Microsoft, number 1 weight. Number 2, Apple, number 2 weight. And number 3, NVIDIA, number 3 weight. 1, 2, and 3. So these are going to be very important things to be watching on the NQ. And it's a good thing that it's all happening today. Why? Because we have such little news that's going to be affecting the market today. We only have a couple things that I want to be watching out for today, and that's going to be, number 1, we have the New York Fed survey of consumer expectations for April. That's not out until 11. Before that, however, we do have 2 Fed speakers. We have Mr. Jefferson and Miss Loretta Mester. Both of them are voting members, and they're both speaking at 9 o'clock this morning. And they're both speaking at the Cleveland Fed. So they're going to be having a dual event. It's not going to be a separate event. And we are going to be hearing them speak right at 9 o'clock this morning. So that, I think, is what's going to be moving the market the most until we get to the New York Fed survey of consumer expectation. Now, keep in mind, the New York Fed survey is not that big of a deal. It does give us color on consumer expectation, but I really think that the biggest movement of the day is going to be coming from this OpenAI event at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that's what you want to be watching out for. That's where I think that your focus should be. We also have a 3 and 6 month bill auction that's due out at 11:30 p.m. a.m. Not p.m. 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So the results of that auction usually will come out by 11:32 this morning. But again, I don't expect that to move the auction. These are short-term, move the price action. These are short-term fixies. These are not big auctions unless there's some kind of crazy outlier print, which I'm not expecting. I'll be right back, folks. I'm going to take a quick restroom break. Please drop a like on the video. Let's do a poll when we get back. Let's try to get it to 500 likes. I'll be right back with you, folks. back. Alrighty, folks. NQ is coming down a little bit here. I wonder how close we came to hitting our level there. Probably pretty close. But yeah, let's see if we can do a little bit of a poll here. Good morning, Fun Tasty John and OBP. How you doing this morning? So let's have a look here. How many likes do we have? We are currently at 288 likes. We could do better than that. Keep in mind, folks, that if you didn't see the email already, you know that we always trade TopStep in here. But if you didn't see the email already, TopStep X is extending their deal. TopStep in general is extending their deal. So if you'd like to do the TopStep X trading platform, it is being extended so you can get 50K combines for as low as $19, which is really, really great. The way that you do that, I'll drop a link right here. If you are unaware, there's a link right there. You click that link. Show you what that looks like over here. Load this up. Switch over to the correct screen. But you just select a 50K right here. You select that one. Select TopStep X as your platform. And you click next. And then over here, get this, put in a promo code right here. And just type in TopStep X, one word, and you click apply. And look at that, $19. Boom, just like that. $19. And that will continue to be $19 until you pass. It's not like only for the first month. So you have unlimited time to pass this. It's at $19 a month. But it will continue to rebuild at $19 a month. Anyway, you can't beat it. If you haven't traded on TopStep X before, there's never a better time to start. It's $19. You can't beat it. It's amazing. So how much longer is it extended? It's going to be extended through the 20th. So another 7 days. So 20th at midnight is when it goes. There's no pressure to buy it right away. So if you want to wait until the 20th, you could do that. If you've never checked out the platform, it's a great thing to check out. We have a lot of folks here in the Market Clubhouse community that have been trading on it, taking payouts on it. I think that on Friday, somebody was trading on an Express funded account. I think they made it's like the biggest day. They made like $8,000 on TopStep X. But it's a 50K account there, Jen. So 50K account for $19. The 150Ks are $119 and the 100Ks are $69. So $19 for a 50K account. Can't beat it. Rip, speak to Island Mike and get him to allow some more of the TopStep X accounts. Yeah. So I will be on TopStep TV tomorrow, which is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to be on TopStep TV tomorrow. I don't know if Island Mike is going to be there. We might just have regular old Mike. I don't know if we're going to be getting Island Mike, but yeah, let's talk about the schedule that we have coming out this week. NQ is doing a little bit of a faceplant. We have Microsoft kind of still holding up here at 417. We have Meta that's kind of rolling on down there. But let's talk about what we have coming out for the rest of the week. So it's going to be an exciting week of data, and this is generally what we see. By the way, if you're short on this, what a move. Gorgeous, gorgeous move there. Curious if anybody caught that up for it. Was pretty close to that Clubhouse level up there. But yeah, tooling on down, rolling on over there. Coming down a little bit. Very, very nice. There you go, Mr. Kofifi. That probably lined up perfectly with that MC level, right? Yeah, just about there. How about that? I did update some new MC levels this morning. There's about 5 or 6 new levels across the board. It was really, really nice to see that new positioning in the options chain. I was really, really excited to see that. It actually made me really, really happy, which is funny because we tend to see that like it's usually, I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but basically it's usually a month before the expiration. Like, because keep in mind, we're on the week of the month. Next month, we will have all of the futures contracts expiring. And usually when we do that, they add in these, they basically get some stuff happening. They do some things and it's great. So we had about 5 or 6 new levels that got updated today and it's really, really nice. There you go. Yeah. Amazing how that works, isn't it? That was the trigger for the short. There you go. How about that? So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, nice little rejection there. Nice little rollover. So yeah, this week is going to be exciting. We kick off the real good news starting tomorrow, and that's going to be the PPI print. The PPI print, we're going to be trading together here at 8:30. I'm super excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun to trade together here. We also have Canada. I say that all the time. Canada's wholesale sales are going to be coming out as well alongside the PPI. So US PPI is going to be out at 8:30 alongside Canada's data. And then on Wednesday, it's the darling of the week. Does anybody know what's coming on Wednesday? First one who says it gets a cookie. Who knows what's coming up on Wednesday? Come on. There we go. SW nailed it first. We got the CPI coming out on Wednesday. It's going to be the biggest print of the entire week. It's what everybody's going to be waiting for. It's going to be the biggest print up until the June meeting, as far as I know. It's going to be the biggest print, the most interesting thing that's going to be happening in the market between now and then. And then, of course, we have Fed speakers that are peppered throughout the week. So PPI on Tuesday, CPI on Wednesday, jobless claims as they always come on Thursday. And then on Friday, it's back to a very, very sleepy day. Get this, we have one single data point that's coming out on Friday. There's no auctions or anything on Friday, but we have the April leading index due out at 10 a.m. on Friday. We do have some Fed speakers, but again, Fridays, if you want to take a day off this week, it's either, you take off today, Monday, or take off Friday. There's going to be the snooze fest of the entire week. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do have data points on all day. Remember, Tuesday is going to be PPI. Wednesday, we get CPI. Thursday, we get jobless claims. So on Tuesday as well, we will get the API crude, gasoline, and distillate numbers. We have a 52-week bill auction, so 1 year auction. That's going to be out on Tuesday at 11:30. We do get the Redbook retail sales, which nobody cares about. But then on Tuesday, we also have a very special speaker. Does anybody know who's speaking on Tuesday? They're going to be speaking in the Netherlands, very far away from the U.S. here. It's not going to be me, Mr. Kofifi. We are going to be hearing from the man himself, Mr. Jerome Powell. That's right, Astro Nerd. Then Mr. Jerome Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It's not Kermit the Frog. 10 o'clock tomorrow. Big Jerry Jerome Powell. That's right. Tuesday at 10 a.m. We're also going to be hearing from Lisa Cook. Before him, he's going to be speaking at 10. She's going to be speaking at 9:10. So that's going to be interesting. We have Neil Kashkari, who's back on Wednesday. But what's funny is about when Neil is tentatively speaking, like he's scheduled on Wednesday, I expect him to start speaking today. He's going to speak on Tuesday. Neil loves to be one of those people who's always in the ears of the media. So I do expect Neil Kashkari to be speaking more than one time. And keep in mind, he's not a voting member, but he loves to collect those speaking engagement fees. So he's going to be speaking quite a bit. And I think he loves a good chin wag. I like that. So, that's going to be very, very interesting to hear from Neil Kashkari. We also have Michelle Bowman on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we have the most speakers because we got Michael Barr, Patrick Harker, Loretta Mester, Raphael Bostic. That's going to be 3 voters and 1 non-voter. Patrick Harker is the only non-voting member. But Michael Barr is going to be testifying before financial regulators in I think he's in the House in Washington, D.C. on the Hill there. So he's going to be speaking, testifying at 10 a.m. on Thursday. That's going to be on the heels of the jobless claims that are coming out. And then we also have the Philly Fed Business Outlook out on Thursday. So that can be interesting as well. Keep in mind, it's going to be a slow day today. But if you did hear me at the top of the call today, that OpenAI stuff does have the chance to carry the market. And also it being the monthly expirations this week, we can have a lot of positioning going into the week this week. So we do have some interesting levels to be watching that I have put out that are up here in this area, but I really do want to see for a very specific interaction here. If we're looking on the 15-minute chart, let's start at the 4-hour here. So at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we don't have much of anything that happened as far as painting out inefficiencies or anything in these 2 candles, but we do have something interesting to watch here on the 4-hour. Let me go ahead and draw this here. Between these candles, I gotta get my magnets on, between these candles right here. So I do want to be watching in here in this 4-hour window. I like to do this top-down analysis like this so we can kind of be eyeing out things. And then I try to look if this corresponds with any kind of our MC levels. Let's drop it into the 1 hour now and see, we kind of tapped into that on the 1 hour right here, but because we didn't have any candle bodies closing in that, you can still say that it is unmitigated. However, it is less powerful here. And then if we drop it into the 15-minute, you can see that we have sort of this overlap between these 2 inefficiencies right here. And so what you can do is you can take just the overlap of those 2, and then you can draw kind of take off the magnet here, kind of your hyper inefficiency that's right there, and then you can clear out the rest of these. So this would be your overlapping inefficiency right here, and this one would carry the most weight right there. So that's what I want to leave on my chart. We also have a trend that we are kind of scaling on up here. Let me get the correct tool. Go back to the 1 hour and see what kind of trend we are drawing here. But this one is a very, very aggressive trend line there. Go back to the 15-minute, and we can probably bring that back down a little bit here, right around there. That's fine. Great. So that's how I want to be setting up for today. What I'd like to see here at the bottom of the hour is an injection of liquidity and potentially a fail back down into this inefficiency here to repair a lot of these missed orders from here. And then if we do have a breakdown, I would like to see a final stand into this bullish order flow area down here. So we can draw this as bullish order flow down there. So that's what I'd like to see up here in these nosebleeds. I am looking to see us auction above those 338 quarters and potentially have a breakout of where we had this liquidity up here. But that is TBD. I'm not going to be putting on any trades until we get up there. And then I'm going to take a look here in a second at the S&P markets. Does anybody have a trade on still to the short side here? Was up 2K on that short on the XFA, locked myself out. Nice work there, Wiz Trades. So for downside targets, if you are into this short here, I would say a nice TP1 would be somewhere in this range right here. And then of course TP2 and then TP3 down there, somewhere in those ranges. There is a potential for a hold all day, but with the news coming out from OpenAI, I would want to see how the market reacts off the open to that to see if we are going to see a little bit of a boot scoot and rally there in Microsoft there. We got Mr. Kofifi in that still. All right, so let's look at the S&P here. Let's draw out a little bit of what we're looking for. So we have building permits coming out from Canada here, and that's the only news coming out from 8:30. I do want to see if this actually moves the market around here in less than a minute, so let's check that out. Lucky Cat says, no trades for me right now, just watching a few things, getting caffeinated. I'm late today. Well, you've been beaten. You're here before the New York Open, so technically you are not super late, and there is no data coming out this morning, so I think you're right on time there, Lucky Cat. I think you're just fine. OpenAI update is going to write your resume better. I don't even know what I'd be doing if I was a kid in school right now and you have OpenAI. Like, what would be, be pretty tempted to never write an essay ever again in my life, right? I can't even imagine, right? Caffeinated before 9 on the Michael. That's me on all my essays. That's right, Vincent. You're still you're in college, right? I think you are in university. I don't know how. I don't know how you do it. Like, how would you ever not use OpenAI to write your essays? We had OpenAI. His name was Aaron. You just paid him through your essays. We had somebody like that on campus who advertised their services. Back in my college, back in my day, it's been something that's been going on for a long time, right? Nothing new there. I don't know why I don't have the... okay, so they came in Canadian building permits month over month at negative 11.7. The expectation was negative 4.3. The prior month was revised lower from 9.3 to 8.9. So building permits are down. I read a headline, something about Canada looking at raising mortgages by something like 60%. So I'm not Canadian. I don't know if you couldn't tell, but I'm not Canadian. But I think that their real estate situation there, I mean, I think you have to re-sign up with a mortgage every 3 years. My Canadian folks in here, you can help me out. It's something like every 3 years you have to get a new rate on your mortgage or something like that. And I mean, I'm sorry if I'm wrong on this, but is it 5 years? Every 5 years? Nobody's perfect. 5 years. Okay, thank you. I'm not trying to speak out of turn. But yeah, there's something like they're raising rates by 60%, 3, 5, and 10. Okay, thank you, Matthew. So yeah, I've that's not looking good, but that's probably why we have a drop in building permits up there. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of fear-driven headlines over the last year and a half. It's hard to filter out what's real and what's not. I'm not really well versed on what's going on with the Canadian housing situation up there. But yeah, there you go. Every Friday, there's a podcast called Besties All Podcasts. Sam Altman was there for 40 minutes talking about GPT-5. Thank you for that, 1-2-Fish. Yeah, that's with Shamath Palihapitiya and David Sachs. There's a couple of different other ones in there. I'm trying to think. There's the guy who created... I'm just drawing blanks now. But yeah, there you go. Maximum is 5 years. Gotcha. Canadians are walking away from their homes right now, as well as leaving Canada. Okay. Bought my house 14 years ago for $490K, on the market to sell right now for $1.6 million. Tim, are you located in Canada, or where are you located? Canada never corrected in 2008. It's hypervaluations. Gotcha. I was watching the chart before I had to leave the house at 8 a.m. and I said, this looks like it might reverse, but I'm not going to chance it. Walked away. Oh, well, we'll be back to the chart soon. Yeah, don't even sweat it. We're still kind of holding this upper trend line right now. We still are kind of holding this push until we actually paint down into this inefficiency. I would love to see a slam into this level. If not, you have to keep in mind too, we do have inducement all the way down to this bullish order flow. So there's a good chance that we can slam right through. That would be the ideal picturesque open for me, would be a fail and a break of that trend back down into this bullish order flow, and then a blow and go there. That would be interesting. We do have some gaps to fill to the downside that are on Apple and on Microsoft. So there's a good potential that we can break that to the downside. Most people have a floating mortgage that they can lock in prime plus 0.5%. Problem is, if they don't lock in prior to the big jump in rates, they can have some really big payments to the point where they can fail. Gotcha. Very, very good to know there. You're in Toronto. Okay, Tim. It is actually, is your last name Horton by any chance? We might be talking to the real deal here. It's up to 38 million people now, about 1 million Indians last year. The housing in Toronto and outside regions is ridiculous, gets nothing for the cost. Oh, it is Tim Horton. Imagine that. I'll have a double-double, please. China owns Canada. I don't know about that. Rips, if we break the trend line, would that be an area you would enter? Not specifically, no, because if we are actually breaking that trend, it really doesn't give us that much room. And the thing is that we have so much liquidity that was conducted in this area right here. There's a good chance that we could just break and snap right back above. So I'd want to be patient and waiting until we get into that inducement zone. Fact of the matter is, I think that people are really juiced on this OpenAI thing because it's moving very quickly. Innovation tends to move a lot quicker now, especially in the AI space. And it's just been going like a speeding bullet train right now. So I think that the innovations that people are expecting from this, the expectations could be high, but the fact of the matter is that they could deliver upon these expectations there. Best coffee, yeah, Tim Hortons. They brought it to a couple places here, but it's certainly not on the West Coast. I've never seen a Tim Hortons out here in the West Coast. Does anybody know if there's a Timmy's out here in the West Coast? It'd be great. It'd be awesome. They have amazing coffee. No, I know. I've had a double-double before, and they're delicious. This is a very sharp double-edged sword. If you can do it yourself, In one generation, we'll forget how to do basic stuff if we are not careful. I think that's definitely a big fear, right? It's going to be funny when, if the, not really funny, but, one of the doomsday scenarios is that, the internet goes down for an extended period of time and everybody suddenly forgets how to do the most basic things. P&L rips. Well, I hate to break it to you there, but we're sitting at $0 on our P&L over here, Trader Page. I hate to break it to you, but nothing doing just yet there. They have 10 locations opening in Houston. Wow. Oh my goodness. And in ATO. We really need to see them out here in California there. Ribs, how do you determine that you are a scalper for equities as opposed to swinger? From what I understand, you traded options differently. So there's a time and a place where I would trade options and hold them for multiple. There was times when I bought months out on certain options contracts. There's certain options that I'd buy for the weeklies. It depends, right? It depends on what market environment you are in, and that controls sort of how you are using the vehicles to trade. So if I found so there was a certain time when I would be scalping and day trading options in equities, index equity options. So on those, you would have certain mispricings that you would look for where you're kind of anticipating where the puck is going to go. Not to get all Canadian on the stream this morning. We're talking about Tim Hortons and hockey pucks, but you're kind of predicting where the puck is going to go in options versus where you're actually going to, where it is here and now. Whereas in futures, it's all about the price that you're getting here and now. In options, it's completely different. There's a trading adjustment to be had there. Now, when I was trading equity options, like the bigger names, like back in the day, it was like, you'd be trading Facebook back when it was FB, you'd be trading Apple, Nvidia was not as hot. So you'd be trading like Peloton options. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, there's certain options that you're trading at a certain time that you would never be entertaining now. Like the options chain for a lot of the stocks that were hot, back in the COVID days or even before that, the options chain has relaxed quite a bit. There's lack of participation, so it doesn't make any sense to trade these things. But there's a lot of different options chains that would be lighting up, and there'd be these little miniature gamma squeezes that you could take advantage of. We don't live in that environment currently. Obviously, there's some big darling names like Nvidia. There's a lot of options activity in Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. There's a lot of opportunities there, but it's not as like a scalping opportunity because they're not moving as much, and there's wider spreads, and there's just certain things that are going on that don't provide that same kind of opportunity. So for the time being, we're just focused on futures. And some days you want to be scalping futures, or at least I'd want to. And some days we're looking for, longer holds in futures where we're trying to hold for the majority of the day. But there you go. We used to hit each other with yellow pages as punishment for last. Canada has a new foreign ownership ban for a few years. Cannot buy unless you're a citizen or landed immigrant. Is that in effect currently? Wow. Watch the interview with Trudeau's brother. He says justice is being controlled. Just saying, be aware of everything. Yeah, so that's in effect right now. Wow, I didn't know that. I know that they were talking about that for some time, but yeah, having a lack of foreign investment in the country is probably weighing heavily on those housing prices as well. Been there for a few years. Why? Yeah, see, it shows how little I actually know about the Canadian housing situation over there. So, hey, Rips, did you see Roaring Kitty tweeted for the first time in a few years the other day as GME waking up? Yeah, that was interesting that, when did he, I think it was yesterday that he tweeted, but seeing GME really pushing up, there was a lot of folks that they're just, there's a lot of small cap traders out there that they're not really traders. They're kind of, they like to just short things because things are up too much. And those are the people who are going to get punished by this type of move where, it goes up and they think that every single thing that goes up has to go down and stay down. But here we are back up, and this could be ripping all day long to 30, 40, 50. There's a lot of things that can happen. I mean, 50 is a lofty target, but this is the type of stock where if it gets enough, if there's enough chatter behind it, the folks who have the most inventory of these types of tickers, they just relax on their inventory and they can let these things run. And especially if they know that a lot of brokers are net short on these things, they can create a squeeze and people can go into options. GME has a whole options chain that you can trade. But yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting opportunity seeing it's starting to get memed again in the crypto space as well. And so, yeah, this could be waking up today. This could be a prime opportunity, but let's focus on futures here. We are still looking at what's going on in the NQ. We have kind of reversed, going back to the 15-minute, have kind of reversed this first little short going off here. What would I like to see to take a long in this? I'd like to see Microsoft continuing to shoot up. I'd like to see NVIDIA. NVIDIA has to, like I said earlier at the top of the call, NVIDIA really has to make its way over 912 and 915 there. And if it does break above those areas, we do have room all the way up to those 920s again. If we're testing those 920s and breaking out, NVIDIA can boot, scoot, and rally. Now, NVIDIA will see a lot of push today if the AI conference from OpenAI goes really, really well. And then keep in mind, I think it's tomorrow. I believe it's on Tuesday. Google is doing their IO annual conference. Does anybody know? Can anybody confirm? I think it's tomorrow Let me actually check my schedule here. I think it's tomorrow as Google's doing their I/O conference. Let me just see here. Yeah, that's tomorrow actually. So that is one of the reasons that we're seeing the release of OpenAI's conference today. So Google getting buried today could very well just be a precursor for knowing that Google's going to have some slamming news tomorrow that's going to be good for the stock there. Do you think for newer traders, having a better understanding of options trading would be beneficial in one's ability to trade futures? Not necessarily, no. Maybe just a functional understanding of the basics of options could be helpful, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. I like to be informed on this stuff because I like to know what's going on. And obviously a lot of the positioning in the options chain drives a lot of where the price is going to go. But to understand the options market can be a very confusing thing for most people. And I don't know that it's worth spending a whole mess of time into that personally, but there's obviously a little bit of value in that there. There you go. Helps with market mechanics, but coming from options, it's been a bumpy ride for me. Had to overhaul my whole strategy. Again, if you're trading options, if you're an options day trader, you're looking at where the puck is going and you're trading on the idea of where it's going and then the velocity behind that move, not to where it's actually going to get there. Because by the time it gets there, the options pricing is completely different. You're trading anticipation and velocity versus futures is right here, right now, and also where it's going. But when it gets there, then you're out versus when it's almost there with options, then you're getting out of the most velocity, the most ferocious push to that area. It's a completely different way to trade. If you're day trading, if you're buying and holding, it's also completely different. But again, there's timing that's involved in that too. It's a totally different ball game. It really is. I do miss trading options every single day. We had a lot of fun trading options in here every single day, but it's an entirely different beast there. Anyone short this double top on the 15-minute? It is looking like it is double topping here, but I'm going to be looking at preparing a potential trade here, getting all my accounts set up, locked and loaded here. We are seeing Microsoft push up, Apple push up, and NVIDIA all kind of push up here. So if this does have a little bit of a breakout, I do want to look at longing this here ever since we kind of scooted down, not exactly to that trend line, but we did scoot down a little bit here. So I want to see a little bit of interaction. We have a lot of offers that are layered above, but we don't know if that's true liquidity yet since we haven't swiped it. They've been sitting there up at basically 325. I think we're in the 200s right now. 325 evens. Let's see if we can do a poll here, folks. Just slam that lucky like button. Let's see if we can do a poll here. We're at 447 likes, about 2,000 folks in here watching. We get up to 500 likes, we're going to run a poll here, and we can get some temperature on the room to see how soon we can get those likes, but then what the NQ is going to do today, if we're going to be up and over these levels or if we're going to come back down to earth. Welcome, Spiro Malamov. Thank you for joining chat VIP here. So we are swiping this liquidity. Let's see if it's real at 325 here. It was real. They did want to get a fill there. What's up, Ribs? My NQ chart looks a little different than yours. I'm on Thinkorswim. You may not have the real-time data. You just have to enable that. It's in your settings. So that could be the reasoning, is that you don't have the real-time data. New viewer here. First impressions. Love your channel. Love you right back there, SJ Trades Futures. Thanks for stopping through. All right, we're at 533 likes. Let's go ahead and run a poll here. Will the NQ end the day above or below? And we'll say we're at 325 right now, so we'll say 18,330. All right. All right, here we go, folks. Go ahead and vote in that poll. Your votes are completely anonymous, so vote with honesty. Let's see what you folks think. Will the NQ end the day above or below 18,330? Now, keep in mind, even if the news isn't good, it doesn't mean that we can't have a run up to that news, the OpenAI conference. And then as well, I mean, Even though Google is compressed right now, we could see a quick turnaround from Google, because if the news is bad about OpenAI, we have the Google I/O conference tomorrow, and they could be introducing a whole mess of stuff. And keep in mind, Apple also talked about potentially having Gemini, which is Google's product, as part of their software toolkit. If you would have to choose one market to trade between options and futures, futures is more pure. Options is much more difficult. I would say futures every day of the week. Options is so much harder to play. You're going to have, especially for newer traders out there, futures is what you see is what you get. It's that price or nothing. Options is like, well, there's a couple different things going on here, right? Options are very confusing for most people to understand, to trade. You're trading velocity and anticipation, and futures, you're trading what you see in front of your face. All right, Dwayne, we'll see you in a little bit. Take care. Hope you have a great trading day. Options are great because they essentially give you 100x leverage. Futures are a leveraged product as well, but you get much more leverage in options. But it's extremely dangerous. You need a level of risk management with options that most people will never achieve. You need to, you have to know, you got to be able to calculate so many different things on the fly. It's a much more difficult trade. I always would recommend that folks stay away from options and stick with futures, especially with prop firms, because like Top Step is doing that $19 promotion for an account. You're risking $19. With options, you can trade a cash account. You can, depending on, I think that TD probably has like, it's Schwab now. I think Schwab probably has like $1,000 minimum account limit or $500. Who knows, right? But even then, they probably wouldn't even allow you to trade same day index options. There's a lot of different things that they're going to stop you because they don't want to see you blowing your money. But let's just say you could trade same day index options. Let's just say they allowed you to trade the SPX. You're going to get smoked day one. You're either going to get lucky and then get smoked, or you're going to get smoked. And you get lucky to get smoked first. Schwab merger is complete today. Yeah, I noticed in my Thinkorswim, it's got it's the blue highlight. It's no longer the green highlight. I missed the green. I want the green back. The Top Step X deal says you can have up to 10. I bought 10 and blew 2 of them. You think I can cancel those 2 subscriptions, buy 2 new ones for 19? You could try, George. What I would do is try canceling one and then see if you can. But you run the risk of losing one of your rebills at $19. So, you want to talk about managing risk. There you go. My trading changed for the better when I stopped trading options and swapped to futures. I feel like all traders' road leads to futures eventually. What say you, Rips? Well, the reason why we changed over to futures instead of options is because it was basically everybody in the Market Clubhouse community wanted to start trading futures. It was 50-50 for the longest time, and then finally it tipped the scales over into trading futures. I think a lot more of the gambling types. There's a lot of people that when we made the transition over from trading options to trading futures, there was a couple people that were like, I'm not going to trade on a prop. I'm just going to trade my own money. And then they blew a bunch of money trading their own money on futures. Which again, like the people who want to rush this journey are the people who are getting smoked. The people who are like, these rules and these challenges, these suck. I'm not going to wait for that. Blah, 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 blah. Like those are the people who get smoked. So got 5 Top Step X accounts for $4.50 a month and another 10 at 19. What a deal. There you go. Got an email saying the $20 accounts are extended. That's right, Fister5. That is true. We talked about it at the top of the call here. Friday 0 DT lottos were fun. Well, were you here when we were doing, I don't know if you were here, Astro, when we were trading options or not. But yeah, Friday lottos, they can be fun, but they're exactly that. They're lottos, right? They're options prop firms, not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of, gratis. I think they'd probably have to have some weird profit cap. There was one company that reached out to me because they were watching me trade options, and they said that they're going to do an options prop firm. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Sure, let's do it. And then they never, ever materialized at all. So I can't imagine, because if you think about it, you could have an SPX trade where you take, $1,000 and you turn it into $500,000 in the same day. There's no options prop firm that is going to pay you out on that period. They'll cap you and say, well, the most we could pay is like a 10% rip on your profit. So, something like that. I've thought about it, but I couldn't care less. But yeah. Rips, I have an E-Trade account. Where can I find your market level newsletter? I don't know if it goes out to E-Trade. I think it goes out to Webull. I think it's E-Trade, but it would be in the news category, but it's not going to be published until I don't know, it goes out in about 2 or 3 hours. But the easiest way to find it is usually in the triple Qs. You go to the triple Qs, go to the news tab for triple Qs, and then you'll find the Market Clubhouse morning memo there. What's the promo code for Top Step X? $20. The promo code, all lowercase, one word, Alan, Top Step X. No spaces, all lowercase, one word, Top Step X. Let's see here. How many XFAs account can I trade? How many XFA accounts can I trade live? 3, and then also 1 LFA if you get called up to live. So can trade a potential of 4 total accounts. Folks, let's vote in that poll. We got 581 votes secured here. Let's get these votes in. By the way, if we do get the likes pumped up today to 1,100 likes, we'll do a free giveaway as well. So if we get the likes pumped up to 1,100 likes, we'll do that. Let's see here. I took a long off of one of my XFAs, locked in 365. Wow, there you go, A-Trades. Let's go. Nicely done in the XFA there. Guessing long and strong, right? How many Top Step X accounts can you trade live? You can trade an unlimited number of combines. If you want to trade 864,364 accounts at once, you're more than welcome to do that. But when it comes to funded accounts, you can trade 3 XFAs and 1 live funded account there. Doing conservative short theta trade at SPX defined risk strangle funding rate would be 50%. Not going to work for prop firms. Exactly. I mean, you could do so many different strategies that you could game it, right? So they're going to have to limit your upside there. It's just, it wouldn't make any sense, right? Wouldn't make any sense. If there are prop firms out there that will do it, they're going to be more of those brick and mortar prop firms, but don't be swayed by that stuff. There's a lot of prop firms out there that are actual prop firms, but then all they do is they say, oh, you can come trade at our firm, but pay $8,000 for this training course. And we only want people that have never traded before. Don't be screwed by that. Those are complete scams. If there's anybody else, okay, put it this way. If there's a prop firm that is trying to attract you and they're trying to charge you thousands of dollars for education to be considered to be part of their prop firm, run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. All they're trying to do is scam you and steal your money. So if there is a company out there that is claiming to be a real prop firm, which they may have a real prop firm arm, but then they have their main business is all education. They're trying to sell you an online webinar for $5,000 to $8,000. Run as fast as you can in the opposite direction because they are a complete and total scam. Complete and total scam. Do not fall for that. Please do not fall for that. It is not real. It will never be real. They may have a real prop firm, but please run as fast as you can, especially if it's thousands and thousands of dollars for their education. Oh, we want traders that have never traded before. I'm not going to say any names, but if you know a company like this, it is a complete and total scam. Go look at their Trustpilot and you'll see, hey, this place is a total and huge scam. This is a bucket shop. Yeah, stay away from those places. There's no place that if a real prop firm wants to trade with you, they're going to trade with you. They're not going to charge you $8,000 for a fake training that is just a webinar that is not even live cast. Just stay away from that stuff. I've seen so many people fall victim to that. When it comes to the education space, the more money that you spend does not mean that you're going to get amazing, amazing results. Okay, so stay away from that stuff. That's why with Clubhouse, it's a $7 trial. You try it out for 7 days. If you like it, you stick around. If you don't, you see exactly what's behind the curtain. And I never claim that if you ever join up with our community in here that you're ever going to make, all of a sudden you're going to join and you're going to find the secret to trading. No, that's not even close. It's nothing like that at all. The webinars that I teach in here, you can probably find for free on YouTube. You can check out all of the webinars during your 7-day trial for $7. There's no pressure on you whatsoever. That's why I run the ship like I do. If I was charging $2,000, $5,000 for, there's no trials or anything like that, run in the other direction. Please run as fast as you can. Please, please, please. But yeah, that's my rant on that stuff. If you're looking for education, it's costing you $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. Come on. We live in the world of YouTube. You can find free YouTube videos on practically any trading strategy out there. Here's the link. But yeah, $7. that should be what you're paying to try out something to see if it's worth your time. Because if it's not worth your time, you're going to find that out in 7 days there. That's it. Simple as that. And if you're finding like one of those prop firms out there that are trying to charge you that amount of money, you have to question if they're doing so well as a prop firm with their prop traders, then why are they trying so hard to sell educational services for $8,000 a pop? And why is their Trustpilot filled with a bunch of people complaining that it was the worst experience they've ever had? You have to think about that stuff. If their prop is doing so well, why wouldn't they just focus on their prop? And that is what real prop firms are doing. These other prop firms that are like, they have like quant traders and you know, actual traders. They're not trying to sell you a biz op for $8,000 on a weekend. Like, oh, come learn to trade with us. No, they got traders and they're doing just fine. They're making millions of bucks. Majority of YouTube traders would just want to sell you some garbage course that you don't need. I agree. And that's why I'm always transparent. Are you going to find the magic bullet by trading with everybody here in Clubhouse? No, but you're going to find an awesome community. That's it. I mean, that's all I can say is that you're going to find an awesome community with awesome people. This live stream has no latency if you're watching it in Discord, but that's it. I don't make any promises beyond that. I don't say that you're going to become a better trader. I always talk about the webinars. You get 7 days to see if the webinars are good for you. If you like it, great, fantastic. If you don't, you're out 7 days of your time. Who cares? You get the Ride the Watermelon Challenge. How many folks are you are participating in the Ride the Watermelon Challenge, by the way? Curious about that. I saw that this weekend. I might have to make a special badge for you folks that are doing that there. I posted that Ride the Watermelon meme thing, but that should be fun. Rips, I just signed up for the MC trial. Where do I find your levels? Mike, it's in the morning memo channel there. And as well, there's a whole member FAQ channel there to answer those types of questions there. If you're trading, you're part of a marketplace. Traditionally speaking, being an isolate in a market is not good for business. I agree with you, Michael, and that's why it's important to find yourself a good community. And if you want a free community, Top Step has a great free community as well. Rips, I found over the weekend that we are in the UK cannot have Celsius is banned here. Yeah, they had it banned in Canada as well, but they released a lower caffeinated version there. Gold might be making a lower high below VWAP. Let's check out gold here. Look at that. We are bouncing right off 230.50 spot 2 there. Sorry, I don't agree. Top Step Discord is toxic. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is, again, one of the things that Clubhouse is all about. It's kind of like you pre-qualify for quality individuals by, you know, it is what it is. Rips is the one-on-one after my first full month of joining. You can book it anytime you want. But if you've been in for a month or more, then you reach out to me if you haven't been able to book a one-on-one there. So yeah, you should be able to get in there, Tommy. The schedule is going to be updated today in about 2 hours there. What do you think of prop firms that charge for broker data once you pass an eval? Well, I mean, if you are on a actual live account, then that makes sense to me. There's also, I mean, there's setup fees that go into it. So if you're trading on a live account that's actually hitting the tape, then you should be paying professional fees. So yes, the Trading Buddy channel is still coming there. It's funny watching YouTuber I'm in Trading. He shows you how those YouTuber scam traders. Yep, there's a lot of them out there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them. There is no secret to trading other than spending a lot of time doing it and trial and error. A lot of that is trial and error. Some folks get it sooner than others. Some folks take longer. It took me about 3.5 years to find consistent profitability. But those first 3.5 years of me trading were a nightmare of terrible emotions and just like, oh man, I wish I could shorten that time. Like 3.5 years of pain. that was it. 3.5 years of pain. Hey Rips, I live in Germany and can't control myself to not trade when the market is not open. Opening time here in Germany is 3:30 p.m. You should get cold turkey. Let me send the link for you. Okay, so we have Loretta, Messer, and Jefferson. Hold on, let's hear. Getting some commentary right now. I'm going to go back to NQ over here. We're over here ranting about BizOp scams. Have I seen the sports bet props popping up? I have. Those are cool. Those seem pretty cool. But I mean, that's gambling. That's trading is probabilities much more different than regular gambling. Let me get you that link for cold turkey here. I'm just listening to here. That's for you, DeFamily Griffin. Any big earnings this week? We have Cisco, we have Sony. I'll look in a second. We have Home Depot, I think, tomorrow. Cold turkey keeps you locked out of any piece of software on your computer, so you can block yourself from trading. It's a great thing to use there. Yeah, let me know how that works, the Family Griffin. Yeah, there you go. You got the link for the watermelon challenge there. All right, waiting for this to hit my wires here, but we did have a little bit of chatter out from our friends in the Fed here. Trade ranges or trends on NQ? Both. So far, not anything. We're not trading anything yet. Right now, Goldman Sachs is releasing some price targets. Surprised we're not getting the up-to-date news on what they're saying here. Let me see if we can get the live stream up here. Wow, coming down. Hold on, let me see. Get this going for you folks.
To speak. You and the organizers of this conference have put together an excellent program on a very important topic, central bank communication, which is key for effective transmission of monetary policy to the economy. To fulfill our dual mandate of promoting maximum employment and price stability, it is vital that we make good monetary policy decisions and that we communicate those decisions to the public effectively. Today, I will do three things. First, I'll discuss the channels.
Some news from China saying that they're not allowed to buy NVIDIA chips. I don't know. I'm hearing a bunch of different things right now.
Second, I'll offer a few historical examples of how economic thinking on monetary policy communication has evolved over time. Along the way, I'll highlight how President Lester has contributed to this evolution.
Maybe next time.
And finally, I'll share some thoughts on the communication challenges that policymakers.
Is this the new Marvel movie? It might be.
Fed policymakers communicate often.
So Chinese regulators have told local tech firms to buy fewer chips from NVIDIA. That's the latest coming out from the information here.
3 weeks following.
Wow, nice work there. Big, sexy Trader Page. Well done.
4 times a year.
Gary, you nailed it. That's exactly what they're saying. Blah, blah, blah. Data driven. Blah, blah, blah. Look at that. We instant reversal there. Wait to see if we get any headlines here.
Every FOMC meeting and testifies in front of Congress.
Do we like the split screen? Are we a fan of this? Because we can keep this going or we can cut this right off.
Written communications from the board and the 12 Federal Reserve banks.
It works.
As well as policymakers.
Looks good. Okay. Oh, he just looked at me.
And other appearances help inform the public about the Fed's goals and its strategies to achieve those goals. Communication isn't only about talking.
Communication isn't only about talking. That's a new one there.
Listening is reflected in our activities.
Ooh, listening.
In addition to listening to the steady beat of economic data.
Oh, there it is, Gary. You nailed it.
Reserve banks conduct numerous surveys of financial market participants, businesses, and families. Some of what we hear is summarized in the Beige Book, published 8 times a year. And the Fed has many forms of community outreach, including Fed Listens, events where policymakers go into local communities to hear directly from people living and working there. Alternatively, sometimes representatives from communities.
Andrew Tate tweeted that he's going to buy $1 million in GameStop. Is that true? Is that real?
I heard from a rancher, a manufacturing consultant.
I gotta see if GME is still pumping.
School,
oh, GME is going for 25 again. That's funny.
Today, it is widely accepted that clear communication contributes greatly to the effective transmission of
That's right. The background is. Look at that. We got the background leaking over.
Expected path of interest rates.
That's funny.
And financial conditions more.
See, blue lights are all alpha. I'm telling you. That's why it works so well. That's amazing.
Very well, the role of central bank communication. Quote, the public will have a better understanding of monetary policy When policymakers are clear about their goals, those aspects of the economy monetary policy can and can't influence, and the economic information that
See, I'm actually in the same room as him. That's why we have the blue light league. That's how the levels work so well, by the way.
Want to explain that when
Which is the largest firm that publishes the morning memo? I'd say Schwab.
Policy responses to changing economic conditions, the public will have a better idea of how the committee's monetary policy is likely to change in response to anticipated and unanticipated economic development.
GME going towards highs again. This is going to be a fun day. This is going to be an interesting day.
With such knowledge, households and firms can plan better. They can make better saving, borrowing, and employment decisions.
I'm going to grab another Celsius. Give me one moment.
The views reflected in Loretta's words seem commonplace now, but it wasn't always so. When Loretta joined the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia in 1985, the FOMC didn't disclose its interest rate decisions. It didn't even report that it had made a decision. In 1981, Karl Brunner, the Swiss monetary economist, called central banking an esoteric art and lamented central banks, quote, inherent impossibility to articulate its insights in explicit and intelligible words and sentences, end quote. At the time, central banking wisdom dictated that monetary policy makers should say as little as possible. Some research of that vintage tried to rationalize this secrecy through the notion that monetary policy would be particularly effective if it surprised markets. In the 1990s, central bank communication changed dramatically. In 1983, the Fed started to publish FOMC meeting minutes in their current form. And in 1994, it began releasing FOMC meeting transcripts with a 5-year lag. In February 1994, the Fed started to publish post-FOMC meeting statements.
Do you think that he knows what time it is right now?
There was a change in the intended federal
It's not only
rate.
9:09.
In May 1999,
but it's time.
The FOMC started to publish statements after
it's time.
Even on occasions when there was no change in policy. By then, the move towards greater transparency was fully embraced by Chairman Greenspan, who at once prided himself on, quote, mumbling with great incoherence, end quote.
Wait, I need to back up to make this make sense.
There were two primary reasons for this change. First, it was thought that greater transparency would demonstrate the Fed's accountability to the public. And
I'm falling asleep. He's going to hire him for bedtime stories.
Second, there was
this would be a great stream to replay if you're trying to go to bed.
In the economics profession, that clarity about policy could improve macroeconomic outcomes.
No way, could it?
Expectations became a focal point in academic and policy circles with the emergence of new Keynesian models in the 1990s as a framework for monetary policy. In these models, alignment of
Google might be finding a bottom here, by the way.
Decision makers in the private sector with those of policymakers produce
the background looks like a canvas.
Outcomes.
Just those cool blue lights, baby.
Mike Woodford, one of the developers of the new Keynesian model, put it this way, quote, not only do
how does this guy get up in the morning and say, I'm going to nail this,
but very little else does, end quote. Communicating a policy strategy and following through on it.
I think this guy can't even share his mountain time with me.
And therefore, its ability to steer expectations and the economy. Clear communications also helped stabilize the economy and keep inflation closer to its target, because when the Fed clearly articulated a reaction function.
How many micros equal a mini? 10. 10 micros are equal to 1 mini.
Anticipate the likely future course of monetary policy.
Yeah, we are actually in the same room. It would be hilarious if I said I'm going to go get a Celsius and you see me walking behind the guy. Then you'd actually know where the levels came from. OpenAI is doing it at 1 p.m. Eastern. There you go. Dustin said it.
Was another burst of innovation.
We are about 19 minutes from the open. We still haven't taken a trade yet.
In 2007,
see right here. No trades, but you can see right here, we have the man who's speaking right now causing us to take no trades.
Of FOMC participants.
Does the Dow set the pace of the market? Maybe if this guy's talking.
Chairman Bernanke started holding press conferences after every other FOMC meeting. In 2012,
see if he looks over here. Hey,
explicit inflation target of 2%.
Over here.
It started
right here. Come on. Yeah, we got him.
On the appropriate
we got him.
Now famously known as the Dow.
I think we distracted him a little bit.
During these years, Loretta, in her capacity as research director at the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia,
should I throw something? Throw a can of Celsius at him. Here. You want this? You want this?
In collaboration with policymakers.
This right here.
The Federal Reserve.
He's looking at it.
Of course, this was an extraordinary time for monetary policy, as interest rates
throw a boot at him.
Were close to zero.
Like when George Bush was dodging a shoe.
Financial crisis.
He had quick cat-like reflexes there.
Forward guidance, explicit communication about the future path of the policy rate as a key tool to deal with the unprecedented situation.
Why do people pay to watch someone read just pass out the book report and move
could be very effective in the context of the new Keynesian paradigm. When Loretta became president of the Federal Reserve.
Is he getting paid for this? Yes, they all do. They get paid very handsomely.
She supported the continued use.
Curious what GME is doing. Maybe we just trade GME futures this morning.
In particular, to communicate a lower for longer policy that could provide accommodation in the presence.
Q&A. Let's see. Is there Q&A? No audience Q&A.
She also insisted.
Well, what's weird about it is that I have conflicting reports. Some say audience questions are expected. Some say no audience Q&A.
As a means of
so take that as you will.
The FOMC.
Yes, I'm positive that they get paid. They get paid a lot. It's
Loretta,
a lot.
As a member of the FOMC Subcommittee on Communications, developed.
Mester's up next, by the way.
Advocated for several proposals to
paid
improve
to read.
Communications. One proposal was to publish a measure of uncertainty.
So we're going to keep this rolling until the open here. And then we're going to judge the open and kind of trade it out from there.
That uncertainty could be underestimated by the public if.
Can I take a look at Tesla? Sure. I mean, it's kind of bottoming out here. I will just say, I mean, I don't really have to bring up the chart. We're kind of bottoming out in this gully here, the 169. So if we hold this 169 level, we would trade back up to that 174 if we can find it today.
2017.
Yeah, they get paid a ton for this stuff. Anyone know of a better way than the chat function on TopStep website to get a hold of support? Been 2 weeks waiting for my payout via Wise. Also been waiting for a response from speaking on chat for 4 days now. Also, they used to have a support email, but I don't think they monitor it anymore. I can ask MP tomorrow on TopStep TV. Be happy to do that for you. Rips, when you're monitoring the Mag 7, what time frame are you looking at? 15-minute mark. 15 minutes. Sometimes I stretch it out to the hour, but mainly my daily scope is 15 minutes over here.
To analyze the impact of central bank communications, including statements, press conferences, speeches.
Oh yeah, Discord. That might be a better option there.
On asset prices.
Best way to grow your XFA account, slow and steady, trade on the micros. You can buy 10 accounts, picky on you, for 19 bucks. 10 accounts.
Federal Reserve policy communications.
Yeah, the email used to be monitored, but it's not anymore.
High-frequency financial market data.
We are still holding this push to the north side here in the NQ. Still no trades for me. I want to probably wait until the open.
For example,
what does my Mag 7 look like? Let me show you real quick.
Policymaker speeches
like this.
Affect asset prices as much as the information.
All that goodness.
FOMC statements and press conferences.
There you go.
And the effects that central bank communications have on asset prices can differ depending on whether the communication conveys news about the policy rate path.
Please mute him, Rips. I'm going to fall
the
asleep.
economic
Well,
outcome.
we're waiting for him to grab a cold one over here.
As
I think he knows what time it
telling
is. I'm pretty sure.
indicates, we have come a long way. Over the past 30 years, the Fed and many other central banks
Yeah, I can bring it up for you, Dotton, on
and deliberately use their communications.
I can bring it
as
up
a
for you
policy
on
tool.
Fast Markets tomorrow.
And researchers keep developing.
Yeah, Nvidia sold off a little bit because of that China news. China was encouraging people to stop buying Nvidia chips.
At this point, you may
Do we
be
short
wondering
350s of the
how much
open? Well, if we
longer
get up there,
I am
maybe.
going to talk, okay? And that question leads me to the following one, which is salient for my topic today. Are there limits to the benefits of communication? Surely, sometimes central bank communications can have unintended consequences. Let me give you 2 examples.
Take that reaction test. Like, while listening to this person, my reaction, that would be terrible.
Policymakers state
Got 2 payout requests. I've just opened up the chat again, asked for a follow-up, so let's hope that's just been missed. Yeah, I hope so. I know their support has been overloaded and they're working on it.
With a false sense of certainty.
I canceled one of the accounts. The system doesn't allow to buy for $19. Limit has been reached even if canceled. Thank you for that, Reddit. That's actually really good information. Thank you for being the sacrificial lamb for that one.
Of interest rates. When that interpretation is proven wrong down the road,
Imagine actually being here at this lunch or whatever, this breakfast conference, whatever you want to call it. Be falling asleep right now at your plate of pastries.
Policymakers always make sure to stress the data.
Do I think TikTok goes down? I mean, nothing pointing towards that right now. No, I don't think it will.
It's possible that the public misinterprets the views of individual.
I'm looking at the Mag 7, looking for any reaction here. We have 12 minutes till the open.
The potential for misinterpretation
Improve Fed communication, get this guy off stage.
When many policymakers speak at the same time and disagree with one
Looks like
another.
he's in an empty room. Yeah,
Diversity
he very well could be.
among policymakers lends itself to stimulating debates and ultimately better policy. But in such a situation,
Hey, welcome, Travis. Good to see you, buddy.
Increase rather than reduce.
Stupid Schwab, 20 minutes to try and log in this morning. I got in just fine. I did my migration over the weekend from my TD account to Schwab, and I logged in this morning, no problem.
Research in this area.
Shoot him a text to end the speech. Hold on. It's a good idea.
Include
Hey,
how
man,
does
you're
the
putting
diversity
people
of views
to sleep.
among policymakers
Wrap it up and say something bullish about NQ
of
and send.
communications?
Cool. Good suggestion.
And more generally, what distinguishes effective from ineffective?
Love the way he looks up after he feels he said something interesting to find nobody giving him crap.
Conclude by repeating what I said at the beginning. To fulfill our
You folks are funny.
promoting maximum employment and price stability, we need to formulate good policies.
Speaking
and to
probably not
ensure
his standpoint,
our
but
policies are clearly understood.
monetary policy, A+.
Doing so helps make monetary policy more effective. Therefore,
For your MC levels,
I
are you
encourage
treating them similar to pivot points or just as key levels to look for reaching? We hit 319 and a half and it shot up on the 5-minute chart. Right now we're holding, so we did a takeout candle below 319 halves, if you're looking at that. I would say watching that levels, the levels webinar, the most recent one, talks about how we use those levels to trade around. There we go. Hey. Nice work there, buddy. Way to go.
You are welcome.
Hey, there she is, the Loretta Master. Oh, wow, it is very empty there. Those claps are fake. No, they're not. They are real.
We don't have to do anything. Excellent. Well, first, thank you very much for being here and participating in our conference. It's obvious that you've thought a lot about communications, and I appreciate that. And I also appreciate.
Now let's get to the fireside part of the evening here.
My career and my attempt at communicating effectively. So.
Who says life only gets harder? If we gave a speech like this in school, but now 6 figures.
And part of those communications always include
You nailed it.
policymakers explaining their views on the economy and monetary policy. And so
Now all
I
of us
thought,
need
you know,
a
there's
Celsius.
gonna be a
Thank
lot of
goodness we
people in
have
this
one.
audience and listening in who really want to hear
Let's get some Q&A. Come on, Loretta.
Current views on
Right
the
here.
economy and money.
Rips from Market Clubhouse.
Give you the
Hello?
opportunity to do that before we go
Hey.
into broader questions on communication.
Loretta, I'm over here.
Well, thank you very much. And let me say again
Can't hear me.
how delighted I am.
It must be a
here
Zoom issue.
in recognition of your
They consulted me on the lighting. Yes,
to
100%.
the Federal Reserve System.
That was my cue right there. That's how you know.
A service
The real ones know.
very much distinguished and appreciated. So whenever I
Just do some Q&A already. Stop ruminating on garbage.
for the economy, I always like to
How did you manage to kidnap both of them? I had to pay their appearance fee to show up on the Clubhouse stream here.
see that
Pass another combine. Give it up for assignment. Let's go.
over the last couple of years and seeing how far we have come. It is the case that if you look from 2022 to the present.
Yeah, there you go. Trade Sauce nailed it. You can do that. You can do that in TradeV. You just put that in the tickers there.
Has come down substantially from its peaks. If you take a measure like personal consumption expenditure headline,
This
inflation
guy's
has come
depressing.
down from 7.1%.
He sounds like a guy who didn't read the book report.
7%.
Hey, good morning, Carl. Good to see you, buddy.
The economy has continued to grow. The labor market has been very resilient in terms of job creation. And
All right, we're going to have to cut him off in about 5 minutes here.
overall economic performance, broadly considered, has continued into the beginning of this year. So I view the economy as in a solid position in terms of jobs are still being created, growth is still occurring. But of course, the decline in inflation has attenuated.
People watching this are like, wait, what the heck just happened?
This year, and that for me, in inflation has attenuated. In
He's
the
still
first
going.
quarter of this year, and that for me is a source of concern. And so when I think about our dual mandate and the fact that
Still not saying anything that's moving the market. We are about 6.5 minutes from the market open here.
allows me
See if we can get some nice trades on.
even more so on inflation and what's happening there.
Take a drink every single time he says inflation.
My view is that in light of
Whoa.
the attenuation
Whoa.
in progress,
He must have been taking a shot every time he said the word
getting
inflation.
inflation down to our target, it is appropriate that
He definitely had his mountain time.
maintain the policy rate in restrictive territory, which it is right now. I think there's evidence in support.
Oh
of
my
that.
goodness.
And that we continue to look for additional evidence that inflation is going to return to.
Give him a Celsius, don't worry.
Until we have that, I think it is appropriate to keep the policy rate in restrictive territory.
Thank you for that. So let's turn to broader communications issue. And as you, in your prepared remarks, you enumerated a lot of things that the Fed does now in terms of its communications, including the post-meeting statement, which we didn't always do, as you pointed out, the press conferences at every meeting, the testimony and the reports that are gone, speeches, presentations like you're giving today, and of course the summary of economic projections, which was an innovation. So that started in 2000.
All right, we're 5 minutes out, folks. 5 minutes out.
Through some different business cycles and different events. So, but there's still some, I think, skepticism.
Loretta Medister's got a little pep in her step there.
Was an innovation. So that started in 2007, and of course.
So the economy's made a lot of progress and inflation is retreating,
It's
said
been through some
Mr. Jefferson, but
business cycles and different
as you know,
events.
that's not exactly true.
So, but there's still some, I think, skepticism maybe out there about its usefulness as a communications device. What's your view on it? Delve a little bit deeper into sort of your view of the SCP and whether you think it is an effective communications device.
Well, I think about the SCP in the context of the overall effort that we are trying.
Do you keep an eye also on your Discord chat? Yeah, it's one of my main chats that's up right now.
to the American people.
That's where the priority lies there.
A part of that is to give them some.
Yeah, a lot of folks still think that we could see a raise this year. Could be conveniently right after the election. We have a FOMC meeting, I think the day after the election. I think it's November 5th. Let me check. I'm pretty sure.
Given to us by
Almost positive.
that is what's going to happen.
November 7th.
On
November 7th. So that'll be very interesting.
on the labor market,
What's going to be happening around that time.
the amount of uncertainty that we feel is present in the thinking of
So we're watching for the
FOMC.
big chip companies to
And
carry today.
so,
AI
as a
companies,
source of
Microsoft,
information
OpenAI,
for the public
NVIDIA,
to
potentially Google reversal.
people
So we shall see, folks. We shall
how
see.
the members of the FOMC
Going to be
are
exciting day.
thinking.
Exciting
I think
day.
it is a useful
It's
information
only
source
that one.
for
Yeah. Sorry.
us to
First time here, and I'm an option trader, but the idea of funded accounts for futures for $19 sounds tempting. Can I get more details,
Any
please?
suggestions that can make it
The
even
link
more useful?
is, let me drop the link for you. This is the link for you. This was it
challenge
Sarah?
with the SEC
Go to that link,
is
select the 50K
how
combine, and then set it to,
in that
set the coupon code to Top Step X, one word, all
can
lowercase.
understand having been one of the
Chuck.
consumers
There you go,
of the
Chucky.
SEP before
All
I
right,
got
2.5
to the
minutes,
board.
folks. We'll probably be
It's sometimes
quieting down
a
this
challenge
Fed
to
speak
know
so we can
what
trade
to
the
make
open
of
together
it,
here.
because we hear that it is
Turn this down a little bit.
representative of the individual thoughts of the 19 members of the FOMC. And
Rips, how many different screens are you watching? I have 3 screens here, but 2 of them are super ultra wide, so it's basically like that's 4 screens and then another screen in vertical positioning here, so that's another 2 screens. It's essentially like having 6 screens, I guess you could say.
when you're on the outside, I can see how that can be a challenge. To
Algos are up and out of bed. Here they come. 2 minutes until party time.
Definitely true. Okay.
2 minutes.
that even as someone who's on the FOMC.
Did you slow me down again? No, I didn't.
received the SEP.
I know you really can't tell though, can you?
This is what people are thinking. So it is something.
90 seconds, folks. 90 seconds till the market's open. 90 seconds.
But I think that
We are still holding.
it's important that we continue to do it, and we continue to ask ourselves, is there more we can do in this direction?
All right, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and
That I think
shut him down. I'm going to turn him down a little bit. Actually, I'm just going to turn him off for now. We are 1 minute out from the market opening here, folks. 1 minute out. Do me a favor, drop a lucky like on the video here. If you drop a like, it's almost guaranteed that you will have a green day today. I mean, almost guaranteed. Obviously, I can't make that guarantee, but almost. That's good enough, right? Almost guaranteed to be a green day. We are holding at these 319s for the time being. Let's see if we can continue that push to the north side here. 30 seconds, folks. 30 seconds. Good luck to all of you. Trade safely today. Remember, today is one of the most lackluster news days outside of the OpenAI presentation. And that's pretty much it for the news, except for we have the consumer expectations coming out at 11 here. 20 seconds now until the market opens. 20 seconds. And we are seeing a little boot scoot and rally here to the top side. 20 seconds here. 20 seconds. If you liked it twice, it might leave not a like there. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Party has started. Markets are open. Little pop and drop. Apple straight down. Meta straight down. Microsoft tussling with a VWAP down there. Let's see if we can hold it these 319 halves or not. Little push down. Looking like we may want to hold here. Apple, a little bit of a bounce. We are coming down. Is there a free reset code? Not that I'm aware of, unless you were partaking in the fire drill last week. If you were, then you got a free reset emailed to you. Outside of that, nope. But $19 combines can't beat it. We are kind of holding again at these 319s. S&P's a little bit of a bounce as well. I'm going to try a little bit of a long here. God awful fill too. Wait, what is going on here? Wait, Do I have lag in Rhythmic or something? What is going on here? I'm seeing the price up, but on my Rhythmic, it's down. Is anybody getting Rhythmic lag out there? What is going on? This is strange. So on NinjaTrader, yeah, this is weird. What is going on here? So, I mean, that's strange. So I'm trading, I have like 30 on my screen here, but on Rhythmic, it's completely wrong. So I don't know what's going on. I have to reconnect on Rhythmic, but I'm just going to keep trading this out here because I think I'm getting the right prices. It's showing me the right prices in my unrealized, so that's fine. I'm looking for an ad here. We'll reconnect after I close this trade. I'm from the future. Yeah, we're currently up a little bit. I don't know what's going on here. I might just actually have to close this and reassess. But I want this perk. I want this Percocito to the top side. I want 343. What happens if I close there? Okay. All right, I'm going to try to reconnect to Rhythmic really quick here. See if this works. See if this gets me the right prices. Is this the right prices? Yes, this looks correct now. Okay. Let's try this again here. Trying this again. So 319 halves are holding for the time being. Yeah, my data was way off. Samsonite, I was way off. GME options are up 700%. Oh my. All right, trying this again. That fill looks exactly where it should be now. Adding into this. Looking for this to explode to the top side now. Want to see 43 give out to the north side here. So that's what I'm watching for. Looking for 43s. A little bit of a kerfuffleation here. See if we can buy these lows. Watching here. And we might get stopped out. Wow. That thing pulled back in a jiffy. All right, getting stopped out there. Let's take a pause. All right, Microsoft coming straight down here. Google going straight up. Let's see if we're coming back up to those 319. We can find a little bit of a rejection point. That data being off threw me off a little bit, but that's okay. We'll be back in the mix here. So coming down, we did get stopped out there at the bottom tick, but we'll keep rolling with this here. Watching to see if we have any strength. Microsoft, little bounce back up here. Going to try another long, given that we're holding 305s. So watching here. Microsoft did a quick little flip there, which I don't exactly like. So we had a bounce from Microsoft, and now it's coming right back down. Google going straight up. I want to see if these 300s are going to hold. Looks like it's barreling down into this 290 level. And I'm going to come out of that. We're barreling to the downside here. Not a great start. Well, let's roll with it. Yeah, I was living in the past there for a hot minute. I don't know what was going on with my data. All right, let's see if we can try to nail this properly. So we're right at this inflection point in Microsoft. We do start to roll from this inflection point. We could break these 300s. I'm going to try this short now. We are breaking those 300s. I want to see the auction remain weak and then 293 giving out here. So watching here. Looking for a little bit of a perk back up to 300s. See if we fail these 293s now. Adding into that. Wow, big perk back up to 300s. Adding back into that in case we do flush these 300s. And what is going on with my hotkeys? What the heck was that? Why are we adding 5? Holy smokes, I got up to 15 contracts. I'm trying to do 3 contracts here. I have no idea what the heck just happened there on that. Oh my goodness. Wow, we are having a heck of a start here. What the heck was that? Dude, trying to do 3 contracts and somehow we're already up to 15 there. What the heck is going on? Okay. All right, let's take a little breather here. That was the craziest thing in the world there. Holy smokes. Jeez Louise, thank goodness we're not trading XFAs, but wow, talk about some crazy tech problems there. That was insane. Did anybody, okay. How did that do that? It went from 1 contract to like 15. That was insane. Jeez Louise. All right, Stream Deck is off my deck. Like, what in the heck is going on? Holy smokes. Wow, that was that's not a great way to start our morning, I'll tell you what. That is that was not a great way to start our morning. I was trying to add into that. And we're trying to add in a single contract, and it went up to 15 contracts. So, holy smokes. All right, let's get a little shot clock going here. So back to what we're looking at on TradingView. 15 contracts top symbol. Yeah. That was insane. I can't believe that. All right, so little shot clock on here. Three minutes ahead of me? Oh my goodness gracious. All right, a little bit of a shot clock here. Was it a winner? No, that was a loser. No, that was definitely a loser. Because I was trying to add in a single contract, and for some reason it went all the way up to 15 out of nowhere. That was pretty crazy. Rhythmic is garbage today, so laggy. I don't know. Maybe that's what it had to do with. Maybe I had a resting order from when we first started. I don't know what would cause that, to be honest. It was the weirdest thing. So, yeah, very, very strange that we ran into that. Unfortunate way to start our morning. I'll tell you what. Definitely an unfortunate way to start our morning. Not what I would have ideally wanted on my first foray into the markets on a Monday. That's for dang sure. Do I have a debounce filter on the hotkeys? I don't know what that is. Top Step X is fine. Funny that. Yeah, I mean, we had problems just right off the open. I mean, that was pretty crazy. But we'll move on here. All right, let's recollect ourselves. We are kind of bouncing here up above these 300s. Microsoft going straight down, Google going straight up. Market still looking weak here. Debounce prevents multiple inputs from a single keystroke. I don't think it was doing multiple keystrokes. I mean, I was just pressing the one side. Whoa, Jesus. Okay. I'm not even going to show you because I just almost dropped my thing again. So, all right. See if this works here. All righty. I don't think it was multiple keystrokes. It was adding into, okay, so there's one contract short. All right. Make sure I have my fingers on the right buttons here. Wouldn't be surprised if Top Step X removes losses during the open. I don't think anybody else had issues on Top Step X today. All right, but this is much more my speed, trading one single contract here. Microsoft coming down, Meta's coming down, Google up, Amazon up. Let's see if we can add on to this on a bounce here. So looking for 305s to trade. Nice add here. And now looking for a flush. Back down through 293. So there's our 293. Let's see if we can have a nice flush through this now. Watching here. Adding into that. Nice flush here. Looking now for 278s to trade. Still coming down. Microsoft very, very heavy here. Adding into that some more. Very nice trade to the downside here. Watching for 293s to hold. 293s are holding for the time being. I do like to see that. Beautiful, beautiful. 278. I'm going to take off half right there. So now we are back in the mix here. Microsoft just going straight down. Move my stop. I got to move stop to break even there. Nice push down. Beautiful, beautiful trade to the downside here. Beautiful, beautiful fade. Watching for this to trade down to 260s now. Watching here for an add on that dump. A little bit of a bounce. Hey, it's good when our hotkeys are actually working and the data's in line with what we're doing over here, but by golly, that was insane. Watching here for an add. So if Microsoft does break down below 412 here, this thing can get speedy in a jiffy. Adding into this, looking for this to break below those 66s now. Watching carefully here. Beautiful move here. Trying to cover half right here. Okay, took out half. Beautiful move to the downside here. Got 4 more as a runner. I'm going to take out 2 more here. Get my order put. There we go. Got that pushed up. 2 more as a runner. Stop at break even. And taken out there. So here's what this looks like now. So we have, this is where we got smoked on apparently hotkeys getting ahead of ourselves. And then this is the trade that we just took there. So there we go, folks. Unfortunately, having a little bit of tech issues here this morning. And I'm not one to blame anything other than myself on my trading, but that was just a little precarious there. So that brings the ones that got smoked there, the balance we started the day was like 155. So the balance on those is now 152. And so basically we swap positions here. So, you know, this is kind of what we're dealing here with right here. Let's see. Balance is 152 on those, but then 155 on these. So, hey, it is what it is, but I'm a little bit frustrated about the I'm going to send my my logs to you, Cargo Colt, and see what the heck happened on that. So, but there you have it. There's our opening trade this morning. Anybody else catch that to the downside? There's a beautiful flush. Beautiful, beautiful flush. I mean, that was crazy on that data, wasn't it? That was nuts. Hey, Ribs, when the Mag 7 are conflicting in their direction, how do you interpret that for your trades? Usually stay off, but we had Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, NVIDIA all going down alongside Apple, so it was some good confluence there to the downside. Golly, that was annoying. I can't wait to watch the replay of that. I can't wait to see my face on that replay. Like, huh? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. Maybe maybe my thumb like sandwiched between the 2 and the 3 button or something. That was weird. It literally went to, I looked down and I'm like, what the heck? Because my P&L was swinging so wildly. It went from swinging like $200 to like $1,700 in a jiffy. And I'm like, what is, okay, there you go. You got my face. Beautiful. I was shocked you had 15 and it took you a minute to even notice. Yeah, it was nuts. I can't wait to watch that replay. That's hilarious. That was nuts. Oh, that was from weeks ago. So at least I'm making the same face. That's great. Fantastic. Look at that. So we came right into that block there, right? Right in that inefficiency. That's where I boogied out of the position there. Look at our covers on that, by the way. Very prescient covers on that first extension to the downside there. Doesn't mean we're all done here. We still have that bullish order flow to potentially entertain into. Nice work there, A-Trades. Way to go there, buddy. Wonder if the update they just pushed might have messed it up. Well, I'm trading on Ninja Traders, so I don't think that it's going to mess with top step backs. So Tesla's going straight up. Meta and Microsoft straight down here. So we have filled the gap on Microsoft completely. We are trading down at these 412s, 413s. My Stream Deck's out of my lap now, so I can't do any damage. I'm just disappointed. Like, that's really lame. I should have, those are accounts I could have passed, you know? That's really lame. That's a shame. Whatever. Welcome to trading, folks. You're going to have tech problems from time to time, right? That's trading for you. You will have tech problems from time to time. It's part of trading. It is what it is. S&Ps are at a certain area down here. I am looking at potentially taking this short. And as I'm switching over accounts, we are just barreling to the downside here. So we have conducted a little bit of that business here. I'm going to be waiting. We don't have any data coming out until 11 now. Rhythmic updated overnight. Okay, thank you, Brad. That could have definitely swayed things there. That probably could be what it is. Thank you for the update there. That could be potentially what it is. Easily, right? Wow, Microsoft is rolling alongside Meta here. I'm going to try another short. See if we can get a little short to pay us here. We're in that bullish order flow, so if we reject right through this, there's a good chance that we could see this continuing to flush. I'm going to add into that for this flush to the downside. Looking for 55s to give out. Let's see if we can get this nice break below 55. If not, I can come out of this and refresh higher. Watching here on this break below 55 now. We did draw a little bit of liquidity through that. I want to see a nice clean 50 snap here. If there's people who are front running that, we can boogie out and refresh. So a little bit of liquidity into those 55s. Microsoft is pulling down lower, so I think we should see this snapping lower here. This is dangerous because we're running into some bullish order flow, potentially, but I think that we can get through 50 here. As long as we find this strength of continuation. So just watching here. Microsoft still coming down. Meta still coming down. Yeah, so I'm looking for like 230s to trade out here. And this just has to get through these 55s and then test these 50s. Here comes your 50 test. Watching for this blow through 50s now. There's a lot of weight on the market, so we should be able to blow right through this without a big bounce. Sellers are a little bit exhausted down here. So it really is about this 55 level here. If we aren't clearing through this 55 level in a jiffy, then we'll have to be waiting for a bounce and then retesting it. So that's what I'm watching for here. Sellers are definitely a little bit exhausted. Watching for Microsoft to crack into these 410s to the downside here. Still is looking a little bit heavy. So just watching here. Looking for this clean continuation through the 60s now. Looking for these sellers to come back on the tape through these 55s. They are giving less inventory here to the top side too, which is interesting. A little bit interesting here. Point of control has moved to 63 now. Sellers look a little bit exhausted. But Microsoft's still very, very heavy. S&P's still heavy here under 5250. GameStop is bouncing up here still. So there was an update to Rhythmic, it looks like. So let's see if we can get this flush through 55s here and continuing an excursion here to the downside. So watching for this test below 60s. If this breaks, it should have a thundering breakdown to the downside, but we're just in a precarious situation here where we're testing to retake 5250s in the S&Ps. So we just might have to refresh the trade location here, which is fine. Watching to see if we get this tremendous breakdown. Some big bidders stepping up those 60s. This is not entirely ideal. Yeah, we're in that bullish order flow, which definitely has a chance for reversal here. This is why we have a stop in place, just to capture this just in case we're wrong here. Almost got nicked out on that stop, seeing if we have sellers coming back in. There are some bid to covers down here, so we'll just have to wait for a second attempt here. So getting stopped out there. Big bounce right there off those lows. See if we can cap on another short if we get a rejection here around those 270s. So that's what I'm looking for if we have a rejection up here at around 278 or so. Okay, back end short. Looking for this rejection below 278s now. Point of control has moved up to 74. So rejection at this level means that we can get pretty heavy into this. Microsoft still coming down as well. Watching 78 here. Okay, adding into that for that rejection underneath 78. And I want to see follow through show up now. And I want to see the sweeping below into those 60s again. See if we could do this without a big old bounce and then find continuation through 255 to the downside. It's crazy that they pushed an update to Rhythmic. I had no idea about that. All right, watching for this breakdown of these 65s now. Google rolling over, S&P testing 5250. Still find a little bit of buy side here under 78. Equities are still looking weak, though. We're not seeing any big bounces in equities yet. Basically, NVIDIA was the only one that showed a tremendous bounce. Adding into that a third contract here. I want to see this holding below the point of control, a nice break below. Still looking for this to clear and hold under 78s for now. So there's your 78 test again. Seeing if we can hold this break below 78. Tesla's tooling up, NVIDIA's tooling up, but we are seeing some rejection there on NVIDIA a little bit. I'm just looking for this 78 break below to hold here. GME is blowing out shorts right now. We're trading at 33s. Beautiful, beautiful move out of GME there. It's almost at NVIDIA. So used to saying that. All right, looking for this to tool down to the downside here underneath 78. We are still catching the infinite bid since we basically flipped short here. 78 rejection once more. So this is the area that we need. This is kind of the showtime for whether or not we reject here. If we don't reject, I will boogie out of this position. Nice little rejection here. So we're wanting to see a lot of defense showing up right here and now, back to the point of control, and then sellers showing up at that point of control here. Microsoft is just kind of floating at 411 halves. So we need to see a nice roll in Microsoft. So looking to hold this below the point of control here. We are just chopping sideways ever since we had that bounce off the lows where we initially shorted from. I want to see this flush starting to hold now. I want to see ultimate weakness shows up if we're flushing below 60s and we don't find any bids below 60. That's where we'd start to see magnificent weakness. 411 test on Microsoft here is what's bringing us lower. I want to see NVIDIA rejecting the attempt for 895 here as well. So I really want to see this weakness showing up here and now, especially at these 70s. A lot of bids showing up here, which doesn't give me a lot of confidence in this position. A lot of big bids are showing up around these 60s. Above 60, I should say. There we go. Big sellers stepping in. Let's see if we can actually get through 60 and hold without a monstrous bounce. Watching for 55s to trade out without a bounce. I said without a bounce. So this is a big area of bullish order flow. If we did break below this, this would be a nice snap and potentially bring us back down to that 230 level that I've been eyeing since we've put on this short here. See if we can get that follow through. Still wrestling here, dealing with the same issue that we had when we originally had put on the short. Still wrestling with getting through down those strong bidders at 55s and 60s. Yeah, still just wrestling with a lot of that liquidity to the downside here. It tends to be the theme of what we've seen lately, where it looks like we're going to get that break, and we just don't have that break coming, unfortunately. A little bit of a bounce there in Microsoft, a little bit of a bounce there in NVIDIA. So again, wrestling at those lows again. Would really like to see a nice clean rejection, but again, we're running into infinite bids again, so this might be a trade that I end up taking off. Back at the point of control here, just kind of waffling around. A lot of overhead supply is showing up, which means that it's likely that we're going to swipe up towards that overhead supply and probably take a little bit more heat, which is unfortunate because the trade idea that I have is us breaking below this 250 level and entertaining the downside liquidity. If it slips below that, this would be a tremendous roll to the downside here. E-trade not working. Interesting. Missed a 25-point trade. Yeah, so there we go. We're perking right back up here. Looks like we're going to get stopped out a second time. Unfortunately, yeah, the market just not agreeing with our thesis here, looking for that clean break. Like I said, there's a lot of liquidity stacked above. It's a good chance that we'll just take that out here. And continuing auction higher. There we go. We got stopped out. So I'm going to wrap here on YouTube. I'm going to continue trading on the Discord. Unfortunate that we got smoked there twice on those shorts and the lows. So that's going to do it for me here on YouTube, folks. I'll catch you folks here in Discord in just a minute. And I'll see you folks here on YouTube tomorrow, bright and early, before I go on Top Step TV. Take care.